What's up, guys? I'm Sal Di Stefano from the Mind Pump Podcast. Welcome back to Mark Bell's Super Training Gym. All right, so today I'm going to show you a priming movement for squatting. Now, one of the issues that people tend to have with barbell squatting is ankle mobility. Poor ankle mobility can cause you to lean far forward. It can cause your heels to want to rise or your feet to pronate, which can cause issues with the knees and the hips. This is why so many people are stronger when they wear squat shoes. Squat shoes elevate the heels. Essentially what the squat shoes are doing is they're taking the ankle mobility piece out a little bit, right? They're compensating for lack of ankle mobility. So what I want to show you today is how you can prime before you squat to improve not just your range of motion in your ankles, but your functional range of motion. Let's talk about that real quick. Range of motion is just how far you can take a joint. Functional range of motion is, do you own that range of motion? Do you have strength within that range of motion? So I like to use this example. Like I have a young baby at home. I have a 7-month-old son, super flexible. I could take his leg and bend it over his head, but he's very unstable because he doesn't have strength in that range of motion. So we're not just trying to give you more range of motion. We want you to be strong in the new range of motion. So when you squat heavy, you got better ankle mobility that you actually own and control. So one of my favorite movements for this is called a combat stretch. So let's go down onto the floor. So what you want to do is you want to put one foot in front of you and then your knee behind you. Now it's important that you keep your foot flat during the whole movement. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my knee as far forward as I can before my heel comes off the floor, right? So if I go any further, you'll start to notice that my heel is off the floor. So I want to go as far as I can before my heel comes up, but this is not where I stop. If I just do this and I stretch, I'm increasing range of motion, but I'm not increasing functional range of motion. So how do I get the functional part of this range of motion? Well, what I do is when I get into this position where I move forward, I stop, and then what I do is I try to pull my toes off the floor. Now, I'm trying to do that right now, and it looks like I'm doing nothing. That's because I'm not able to pull my toes off the floor. That's not important. What's important is the intention. So I'm in this position, holding this stretch, and then I'm pulling my toes up as hard as I can and feeling a muscle burn here in my tibialis muscle here on the shin. I'm pulling it up as hard as I possibly can, holding it for about 10 seconds, and then I'm going to back off. I want to take about 5 to 10 seconds in this back off position, and then repeat. I move forward as far as I can, pull my toes up as hard as I can while I'm in this position, pull up, activate this tibialis muscle, hold, and then back off again. You want to do about 10 reps per foot. Now, the reason why this is functional is because when I'm getting in this deep position, by activating the muscles that support this position, my muscles are connecting to that new range of motion. Now, this is called priming because you want to do this right before you squat. Spend about 5 to 10 minutes working on the combat stretch, get into your squat, and watch how amazing you feel. Look, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. And if you want to find me or hear more from me, you can find me on the Mind Pump Podcast on all podcast platforms.